Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. I have with me a very special guest, an author, and a public speaker, an international one at that, Kerrie Phipps. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you, Guy. Great to be
Yeah,
chatting with you.
yeah, finally. So I've been waiting a long time to be talking with you for reasons that we won't get into that are not pertinent to this talk. Um, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what do you do? You've written a
Sure.
book also, so
A stack of
it's
them,
called
but just
called the Do Talk to Strangers, which kind of um, mirrors or tries to give homage to Malcolm Gladwell's Talking to Strangers, if I'm not uh,
well,
mistaken. Or
very different books. I actually published Do Talk to Strangers, this one in 2014. And I think Malcolm came
whoa,
out with,
yeah,
yeah, Malcolm came out with that
yeah,
in
you were
2019, I
you were
think.
ahead of the curve, yeah.
Well, they're just very different books. It's interesting that you ask about it because it kind of motivated me to do, I'd already done a sequel, which is the little Do Talk to Strangers travel toolkit, which is to encourage people to travel, to connect with people outside their comfort zone. So when you travel, you find that some of the inhibitions you have at home are not there because you need to ask for directions. You're asking for help. You're asking for recommendations. What's your favorite cafe around here? So, in this current environment, we can't travel very far at all, but you can still travel to another culture just by going to a little store down the street and connecting with people from another culture and asking them about, their story and their perspectives. So, but Malcolm's book really kind of upset me in a good way. And I think it's the reason he wrote it was because he was upset about how people were getting human connection so horribly wrong, and things can go badly. So we need to be looking at how we can talk to strangers. And so I found in the Amazon reviews on his book that a lot of people were asking, but how do we talk to strangers? Because he kind of says we're really bad at it, but we need to talk to strangers. So I've actually just hit print, or I've asked the printer in Singapore and with Amazon in Australia to print today How to Talk to Strangers. So this is just like my printed out cover.
Ooh,
How to Talk to
yeah,
Strangers to decrease anxiety, build confidence, and make a bigger difference in the world.
it's
And
official, yeah.
I have stories from people all over the world, and we overcomplicate things. So hearing other people's stories and looking at what works in human interaction, then we can really inspire and encourage each other, because your small interactions, your smiles, your greetings can really have a far more positive impact than you realize. And I want to encourage people who are endeavoring to make a difference that it really does matter, and thank you, and keep doing it. So, I love that you're here reaching out. We connected on Facebook, and you're reaching out and you're connecting with creatives and really interesting people who are making a difference in the world. And that matters so much. Just whatever our tiny corner of the internet might be, we can be inspiring and encouraging people. And in a world that can feel so disconnected, it's such important work. So thank you, Guy.
Yeah, thank you so much. So how do you, we don't have a long while, but how do you talk to, how do you talk to a stranger who has a different culture than you, that is, that grew up in a different environment, shall we say,
Yeah.
or didn't, but there are still cultural differences and maybe even language barriers. So, in a few words, maybe two sentences, how would one overcome those challenges?
Guy, that's a great question, but two sentences, because I created the asking model, which is a framework based on curiosity and permission. So there's clues right there. but it's an acronym and it starts with A for awareness, and just being more aware of the conversation in our head and how we hold ourselves back or how we're feeling inadequate or whatever that conversation is. How can we shift that, and how can we be focused and open towards others and being aware of others, and that people have different cultures and ideas to respect. But if we are open and honest with ourselves first, then we can bring that into the world. And sometimes you connect with somebody just by a glance. So when you are open, you connect, you make eye contact with somebody. And then even if you don't have a shared language, sometimes it's, drawing things or, sharing a few words that you have in common. And, you might just have a laugh and go on your way because you can't really talk for long. But you still can lift each other's spirits. So
Yeah.
I would just say, have a go.
Yeah, so this was a great preliminary, shall we say, talk.
Yeah.
It was, let's say, a trial of fire before
Yep.
the real deal, shall we say.
Yeah,
Uh,
very happy to talk another day.
yeah, so this has been a nice teaser for all the audience. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. And thank you so much, Kerrie, for this lovely, short, and sweet talk. And I hope to have the full feature length in the due date, shall we say.
Sure, I'll have a book in my hands very soon. But thank you so
Yes.
much for your time. Thank you for persevering with our tech challenges, and we will have a great conversation again soon.
Yes.
So thank you guys for listening wherever you're joining from. Do talk to strangers.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.